welcome to the channel. Welcome to Banter in the Box, episode 79. It's Meet the Managers, part 3. In this edition of Banter in the Box, we are going to be meeting the next tranche of managers in the Family Fantasy Football League. The 8 managers that I have grouped the dark horses, capable of pulling off a surprise FFFL title win if they keep their head in the game. But before we get to then, we've got a Game Week 2 review, the Game Week 2 winners and losers. We've got Banter galore. An FFFL Cup update for those of you that missed it. The FFFL Cup first round group stage draw took place earlier on in the week. That video has already gone up. We've got the Predictor Challenge update. No more predictions. The closing date has gone. 12 managers took part in the Predictor Challenge this season. I'll be reviewing those predictions. And then we will meet those managers, the dark horses. And then I've got a manager of the season update. So, Game Week 2 winners take a bow. Coldplay United's Martin Maloney. The biggest climbers in Game Week 2, up a massive 12 places to 10th. And 10th is the highest that Martin has been since he finished 3rd at the end of the 2020-2021 season. Well done, Mr. Maloney. Take a bow also. Where's the K? Luck Williams rose 7 places to 9th. And 9th is the highest position that Luck has ever occupied in the Family Fantasy Football League. Take a bow also. Charlotte Williams, Foxborough Foxes, climbed up 2 places to go top of the league. The first time that Charlotte has ever topped the Family Fantasy Football League table. But the biggest Game Week 2 winner, take a bow. No happy endings manager, Di Maloney, runner-up last season in her second season in the FFFL, and hoping that that isn't going to be a one season wonder. Well, it's looking like it won't be. She climbed 6 places to 3rd in the table and recorded her first weekly win of the season, and also recorded the highest weekly total of the season so far with 60 points in Game Week 2. So they are your Game Week 2 winners. 1 manager of the season point to each of them. And your Game Week 2 losers, hide your head in shame. Defending champions Hatch United, the biggest fallers this week, down 14 places to 22nd. And in all Neil's time in the Family Fantasy Football League, and that's many seasons, Neil has never ever been as low as 22nd in the league before. Hide your head in shame also. Ted and Sand Junior's manager Ian Sands dropping 2 places to 25th. Ian has never been as low as 25th in all of his many years in the Family Fantasy Football League. Hide your head in shame also. The not so big knobs manager Simon Hoxby. He dropped 3 places to 29th. And in Simon's 20 years in the Family Fantasy Football League, he's never ever been as low as 29th in the table. And the biggest Game Week 2 loser, hide your head in shame, Never the Boys manager Jack Hoxby, dropped 1 place to the bottom of the Family Fantasy Football League table. He was the lowest scorers in Game Week 2, and he's never ever been bottom of the Family Fantasy Football League before. Where they had points, they lose a manager of the season point. Now, banter galore this week on the Family Fantasy Football League Facebook group. If you are not a member of the Family Fantasy Football League Facebook group, please request to join. Your request will be accepted. It's fantastic. So much content, so much banter being thrown around. I love it. Debut manager Sarah Goodwin took a pop at yours truly, the chairman, which is perfectly acceptable. After watching episode 2 of Meet the Managers, or part 2, I should say, of this season's Meet the Managers, she hit back. saying that I am going to be cast in the remake of On the Buses as Blakey, and she's even done a mock-up there. Love it. Great stuff. But she wasn't finished there. After seeing hers and her partner Simon's lowly league positions, she dug him out, saying not such a big knob and could be in for a wooden spoon. Simon responded after watching the Family Fantasy Football League Cup draw to say that it's the battle of the buses in Group G when the big knobs and On the Buses were drawn in the same group. And then Sarah hit back. Not only the big knobs by name, you fucked up. Apparently Simon's got a player that's out until September. But my favourite post this week was from another debut manager, Niall Ponsford, Antonio Conte's Barmy Army. He posted on seeing the updated league table last week, gunning for that number one spot, try to keep it up, with a meme of the bust-up between Thomas Tuchel and Antonio Conte. Loved all that content. One manager of the season point to Sarah, Simon and Niall. Keep it coming, guys, and if you haven't yet got involved in the banter this season, get involved. It's what the Family Fantasy Football League is all about. Now, I mentioned earlier we had the FFFL Cup draw earlier on in the week. That video has already gone up, but if you haven't seen it, here's confirmation of the draw. Some interesting groups, I have to say. Group A, Arden Diamonds will be pretty pleased with his draw, being in with lowly Pez United and Never the Boys. Both Arden Diamonds and Poppy's players will be confident of progressing to the second round. Similarly, Group B's, Legends 23s, and I've Got a Life are the only two in there with any real previous form in the Cup. Dial Square FC and Unknown Quantity being a debut manager. But One Veron FC reached the final last year, so that's going to be a tricky one to call. Group C is an interesting one. Foxborough Foxes currently top of the league with Thames Ironworks FC and Ted and Sam Juniors, who have won the Family Fantasy Football League Cup in the past, and Unknown Quantity Abs FC, who have made a reasonable start to their debut season, so that's a tight one to call. Group D is interesting as well, although Better Than the Diamonds and No Happy Endings will probably be favourites to progress. Norfolk and Chance FC has got no fucking chance of getting out of that group. Group E is the group of death. Greece Lightning, Hatch United, defending champions, did the double last year, and Antonio Conte's Barmy Army have made a good start. All drawn in the same group. Sweet Foden Line FC is going to find that tough. Group F is wide open, really. Gobi Desert Canoe Club hold the record jointly for the number of cup wins with 3. Linden's Lovelies done the cup before. Napoli Coldplay United never done much in the cup, so I'd probably go Linden's Lovelies and Gobi Desert Canoe Club to progress there. Group G, Sash Hammers FC will be delighted with that group, drawn with struggling the big knobs, debut manager On the Buses, and perennial strugglers Megan Hoxley Chamberlain. Sash Hammers FC should march into the second round. Group H is another group of death. Benny United, a 2-time cup winner in the past. Chairman's Choice won it 3 times in the past. The Creed Bratton Society, a 2-time cup winner. Wouldn't like to call which one of those 3 are going to progress, or which 2 of those 3 are going to progress to the second round. It's a very, very tough group for Clockhouse Rangers. Those ties take place on the first full Premier League fixture weekends in September, October and November, and the top 2 from each group progress to the second round knockout stages, which will take place in the new year. Predictor challenge. So I asked you to predict the first 4 in the Family Fantasy Football League, who was going to win the cup and who was going to win the wooden spoon. 12 of the 32 managers decided to have a go at this. Remember, a possible 30 manager of the season points available at the end of the season. Loads of people predicting Arden Diamonds would finish in the top 4. Unsurprisingly, they are the number 1 rated manager in the Family Fantasy Football League. 5 managers predicting Arden Diamonds would finish top of the league this season. Cup-wise, couple of managers going for yours truly, Chairman's Choice. Couple of managers going for Gobi Desert Canoe Club. We do jointly hold the record for the number of cup wins with 3 each. Highest number of cup wins with 3 each. But the ones that always make me laugh is who's going to finish bottom. Pez United has got 4 votes to finish bottom of the table next season. Never the Boys has got 2 votes to finish bottom, including his own mum predicting he's going to win the wooden spoon. That's harsh. Megan Hoxby predicted great Uncle George to win the wooden spoon. Meg, that is harsh. Sarah Goodwin and Chris Hoxby predicted themselves to win the wooden spoon. No confidence whatsoever there. In fact, I've Got a Life got 2 votes to win the wooden spoon. Neil Hatch, dicing with death there, predicting that I've Got a Life would win the wooden spoon as well. So they are your predictions. I'm not sure what Simon's playing at, predicting the Mad Hatter to win the wooden spoon. I can't see that happening. So for every prediction that you get right, you get 5 Manager of the Season points. So if you get all 6 right, you'd have to be a real mystic Meg. But if you do get all 6 right, that's a possible, well, that would be 30 Manager of the Season points at the end of the season. Meet the Managers Part 3. When reviewing the next 8 managers in the ranking, and ranked 16th in the Family Fantasy Football League is none other than Mops Hoxby, manager of I've Got a Life. One of only 5 managers that's competed in every single season of the Family Fantasy Football League, and of the other 4, Mops is the only one who's never ever won the title. She did finish runner-up in 2008, and she has lifted silverware as an FFFL Cup winner in 2005 and 2015. She was also the Golden Boot winner in 2020, got the most weekly wins in 2010 and 2015, scored the highest weekly total in 2009, and has picked up a respectable 4 Manager of the Month awards in her time. Not a brilliant start to the season, though, for Mops. But she has proved in the past that she's capable of mixing it at the top end of the table. So who knows? Ranked 15th in the table, Steve Maloney, manager of Ostrich Bar Stewards. 6 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League. Something of a veteran now. Only honours, he was the Cup runner-up in 2018. He also won the Silver Boot last year for the most assists in the season, and he has picked up 1 Manager of the Month award. His highest finish in the Family Fantasy Football League was 11th, and that's the last 3 seasons. He's finished 11th every season. The reason he's ranked as high as 15th is because he always finishes around the middle. Never anywhere near the relegation zone, but always also never anywhere near the top of the table. However, he's had a terrific start to the season this year. I think he's up around about 5th place. Whether he can maintain it or not, that's another question. Ranked 14th of the 32 managers is Simon Hoxby, manager of the Big Knobs, although his own partner is telling us that he's maybe not got such a big knob. 20 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League, and he was the FFFL champion back in 2010. He was the Golden Boot winner that year as well, and he got the most weekly wins. He is a bit of a one season wonder. 2010 was Simon's year, although he did get the highest weekly total the following year in 2011, and he's picked up a respectable 4 Manager of the Month awards. But as I said earlier, he's had a woeful start to the season, currently in the relegation zone. He's never been as low as 29th in the table before, so doesn't look like he's going to be a dark horse as things stand, but it is very, very, very early on in the season. Ranked 13th, unlucky for some, in the Family Fantasy Football League is none other than Ian Phil Mitchell Sands, manager of Ted and Sam Juniors. 10 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League, and he did the League and Cup double in 2012 and followed that up in 2021 with another FFFL Cup win. One Manager of the Season award, but again another manager that if he's going to be a dark horse, he's going to have to turn his form around quickly. Currently 25th in the Family Fantasy Football League table. He's never ever been as low as that. Next up, yours truly, ranked the 12th best manager of the 32 managers. Jeff Hoxby, Chairman's Choice manager, been in the Family Fantasy Football League obviously every single season. A 3 times FFFL champion in 2002, 2013 and 2015. And a joint record holder for the number of FFFL Cup wins in 99, 2008 and 2016. I've been runner-up in the Cup on 4 occasions in 96, 02, 2015 and 2020. 2 Manager of the Month awards to my name, but no other minor honours. FFFL records though, I hold the record for the most trophies ever won in the Family Fantasy Football League. No one's lifted silverware as much as 6 times. 3 league titles, 3 cups. As I said earlier, joint highest cup winner with 3 along with Gobi Desert Canoe Club, and the most FFFL Cup final appearances, 7. No one's ever been in the cup as much as me. So there. Ranked 11th. Keith Simons, manager of Legends 23, stepping out of the shadows of his director of football daughter, Nikki Saunders, to become the manager that he's always been of Legends 23. 6 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League. His only honours, the most weekly wins in 2018 and 3 Manager of the Month awards. His highest league finish, 4th, back in 2021. Never struggles though, Keith, although last season was his worst season. I think he finished 20th. But every other season, the other 5 seasons, he's always been in and around the challenging for the prize money places, normally just falling a little bit short, but always being comfortably in the top half, which is why he's ranked as high as 11th. If you're going to have one, have a big one. That is the motto of the 10th best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League, Sarah Simons, manager of Poppy's Players. 3 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League, and Sarah's not done too badly. She won the Cup in her debut season back in 2020, and she's picked up 2 Manager of the Month awards. Her best ever finish was 6th in 2020, but like Steve, the reason she's ranked so highly as 10th is because in her 3 seasons she's never finished lower than 13th, and that was last season. She's always up in the top half of the table, and if she clicks into gear, is capable of mounting a title challenge. And the final manager this week is none other than Pops Hoxby, Gobi Desert Canoe Club, the 9th best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League. One of those 5 managers that's been in every single season, and he was the champion back in 2016. And as I mentioned earlier, he's also been the league runner-up on 3 occasions in 04, 09 and 2010. And as I mentioned earlier, the cup winner on 3 occasions, 2000, 2002 and 2009. Cup runner-up on 2 occasions in 2003 and 2010. Golden Boot winner in 1997. He scored the most weekly wins in 1997 and 1999. And he scored the highest weekly total for the season in 2003 and 2010, and has picked up an impressive 5 Manager of the Month awards and holds that record jointly with myself for the most cup wins with 3. All of those managers, I think, are dark horses capable of mounting a title challenge. But in part 4 of Meet the Managers, we're going to review the top managers in the Family Fantasy Football League, the elite, the best 8 managers in the league, where the title will probably go. Manager of the season table, here it is. It's obviously very, very close. We're early on in the season. A reminder, those people that attended the end of season presentation awards last season earned 10 manager of the season points at the start of this season. And that's why there's a whole cluster there. They're the joint top of the league. Charlotte Williams, though, is registered on the table now, respectable 12th after picking up manager of the season points the last 2 weeks. Di Maloney, Luck Williams, Martin Maloney, Niall Ponsford and Sarah Goodwin all appear on the table after they picked up manager of the season points this week. A long way to go. And you had an opportunity to earn manager of the season points last week if you could answer the quiz question. What was unique about the 2022 Family Fantasy Football League Cup final? 3 managers had a guess. Sarah Goodwin thought that what was unique about last year's cup final was that she was there. I'm assuming she means that she was at the FFFL Presentation Awards, and that was the first time she was at the Presentation Awards, so I guess it was unique, but it wasn't really anything to do with the Family Fantasy Football League Cup final, so was an incorrect guess. Arden Diamonds manager Steve Holmes and Hatch United manager Neil Hatch, who was one of the people in that cup final last year, they both had the same guess. They said that last year's cup final was the first ever cup final to go to a replay. Well, I can tell you both that was an incorrect answer. The first ever cup final to go to a replay was in 2017 when Will Strong beat Wayne Robinson. Last season's cup final went to a replay, but that was the second time it happened, so it wasn't unique. So maybe this question is harder than I thought, given that the person that was in the final last year has got the wrong answer. But I'm going to roll it over. It's now going to be worth 2 manager of the season points. Have a think. Just tell me what was unique about last year's Family Fantasy Football League Cup final. If you can tell me, you'll earn 2 manager of the season points. And remember, only one guess between the period of each Banter in the Box video. I normally say one guess per week, but the next video might come quicker than next weekend. So don't dilly-dally, but also don't go too early, if that makes any sense. Okay, that's it for this edition of Banter in the Box. We'll be back maybe next weekend, maybe sooner, with the final part 4 of Meet the Managers, Know Your Enemy. But until then, take care everyone. Bye-bye.